All right, Lisa, tell us how you coach your clients during this season.
Okay, so what I was going to say is that everything that I teach is things that I've had to do for myself. These are things like situations I get myself in, and I have to say, what would I do in this situation? So, for instance, my daughter just graduated from Florida State University, and she, obviously would go up for football games, and not every football season am I on protocol, but this one particular year I was on protocol. So we were going to do a big tailgate party, and my mind said, okay, how can I handle this tailgate party, have a great time, and enjoy myself and still stick to my guns? So I knew that we were going to have tables set up. I knew there would be a whole bunch of other food and stuff. So I made sure that what I did was tailgate food, but it was food that I could eat. So I made things like I took peppers and I, stuffed them with some meat, like a nacho, but, no cheese. But I made it taste really good. So I put those out. And I also we had a grill. So I took cabbage and seasoning and I put it in the tin foil and then put that on the grill. So I had some grilled cabbage. I did some other little tin foil full of vegetables. So I did like zucchini and squash and asparagus and put those in some tin foil and had those grilling. So I had grilled vegetables. I knew we were going to do some other type of grilling. So I brought, some good burgers, which you can totally do on protocol, made sure that those were seasoned right. So I had burgers and vegetables on the grill. So I had those grilling. So I had grilled vegetables. I knew we were going to do some other. I can hear myself backlashing a little bit. So I ended up, being able to enjoy. And then I always bring my little branched chain amino acids in a water bottle. So if I want something in my Yeti that's like refreshing, I feel like I'm having a drink, I just put that in there. I do that on the boat too. It's kind of cool. But any way to fake my brain out. I brought some sparkling water, of course, to make that, like some fizzy water. Um, you can do many things the right way and stay on protocol and still be fun and part of entertainment. So you're still enjoying food, you're still enjoying fun. Thank you. Thank you. So you're doing what you want to do, which is be around your people, have fun, enjoy things. Then when I went into the game, I put my Rice Krispies, stuck that in the bottom of my little purse. And, I was able to have my little treat during the game and keep myself eating. But I've also taken the chips in there, the chips in as well. So those are ways to handle football games and any other really outing that you're doing, even if it's a backyard barbecue. It's very doable if you make your head up, make up your mind ahead of time that that's your plan and you stick to your plan. You don't have to sit in the corner twiddling your thumbs. Oh, I'm just going to eat lettuce out of a bowl while everyone's having nachos and everyone else is having chicken. I'm just going to feel sorry for myself, and just be all, boo-hoo about it. If you go into it with the mindset that, hey, I am sticking to my protocol because of my health and because I depend on it. My health depends on me making those choices because we all have choices, right? Nobody's holding a gun to our head going, boom, okay, I'm going to shoot you if you don't eat the onion rings. Nobody's doing that. So we have to make up our minds that we're okay and enjoy people and enjoy life, because the only other option you have is to sit home and twiddle your thumbs until you lose the rest of your weight or get your health back on. But that's not realistic. That's not a way to enter into lifestyle management either. So even though Ideal Protein Phase 1 is very strict and restricted, it's not strict and restricted as in you're being punished. It's strict and restricted because you're trying to make a change. If you keep doing what you always have done, drink a couple drinks, have a little burger on a bun with some cheese, you're maybe not going to gain weight, but you're not going to lose weight. So you have to make up your mind that you are going to participate in your life, but you're going to participate in your life with new normals and new actions and new choices. And, having, the different resources of making fun food, like Dee's recipes and all kinds of, online recipes that have been created, low carb recipes, low carb, low fat that we have access to, That's a website that is very friendly for ideal protein phase 1 dieters and even lifestyle, management. So you make up your mind what sounds good. I had somebody, they were going to go to a dinner party and they said, well, I'm supposed to bring an appetizer. What can I bring? And I said, okay, well, there's a lot of things you can bring. One of the things I do is I'll make a shrimp cocktail. I'll make shrimp cocktails, steam it up. And instead of, bringing cocktail sauce, I make cocktail sauce, but I make it with reduced sugar ketchup and horseradish and lemon. And then I serve it with lemon wedges. And I obviously it's wonderful. I mean, it works perfect. I told her she could make deviled eggs, but instead of using the yolk, she could take the yolk out and stuff her deviled eggs with some tuna salad or some chicken salad. And so it's a protein. And you can do that. You don't have to use mayonnaise. You can use mustard, apple cider vinegar, salt, pepper, paprika, make apple cider vinegar to give them that tang that you're looking for. You could use a little bit of a yolk if you want to use the yolk and count that towards your protein. But there's many, many ways to bring friendly food to events and enjoy yourself. So those are some of my things I do for parties and for tailgating. When it comes to Halloween, we say don't let the goblins get you, right? So there are many ways also the same way. If you're having a pre-Halloween party at a home, a lot of people do that now. You can do much of the same. You can make some crazy spider deviled eggs, with the little things if you want. You can, have, do some, you can make a little, make a stuffed, pepper with some, meat. And you can use riced cauliflower instead of rice and make like a little hat on it and do whatever. You can do whatever you want to do if you're willing to. As far as candy is concerned, a lot of times I tell my clients to bring a bag of the little chocolate puffs. And if they like sweet and salty, maybe do like half a bag of the, trail mix with half a bag of the sweet with the chocolate puffs and make like a mixed bag. And so they have sweet and salty. If you, want to bring, for the kids, I mean, I do hand out candy for the kids, but a lot of times I'll hand out other things. I've handed out pencils and stickers and, other fun kid things that are not necessarily candy related, and trying to keep, passing on the good habits to other people. So what are some other type tips to get our Halloween tips? So what are some other questions? Anybody have any questions about some issues that they have? Or any?
So, if you're jumping on to this broadcast and you have some challenges or things that come up for you, tell us what those are. And if you want to get our Halloween tip sheet, all you have to do is type in tips. So here, Elizabeth says, Halloween candy calls to me. When I'm in the store, I send hubby during the candy seasons, Halloween and Easter. For me, the strategy that I always tell people is, number one, don't buy candy that you like.
Right.
And number two, buy candy 5 minutes before you're going to give it away. And then the minute it is the end of Halloween, you get rid of that stuff, man. If you have to like throw it in the trash and throw, put broken eggs on top, put water on top, whatever it is, so that you don't pull it back out of the trash can. That's what I say.
The last kid who comes through, here you go. They get all, they can take it where they want. But yeah, I mean, that is true. So I know what she is talking about. That's what I tell people too. If you love peanut M&Ms, don't put it out. You're just going to go buy the candy jar and put your hand in every day. But if you don't like sour Skittles or sour worms or something, buy things you don't like. That's definitely a tip that we give as well. And, also just listen, if you understand that everything you're doing is temporary, you're not going to be on protocol for the rest of your life. Phase 1 is not supposed to be a lifestyle eating. It is supposed to be a tool and a method to fix you. So if you have to give up Halloween candy because you're on your protocol, this Halloween, by next Halloween, you should be where you want to be. Now, some people won't be, but that's okay. But sometime, even the bigger people who need to be on protocol for a long time, at some point, there's going to be a Halloween they can participate in mindfully and without shame and without guilt and enjoy it. Maybe you're not going to be able to have Halloween candy, but maybe by Easter you can have some Easter candy because you've met your goals and you're going to enjoy your Easter candy. But you don't have to feel like you're never going to eat, candy corn ever again. But right now you're not going to eat the candy corn. That's what you're just saying to yourself. Not today. Not right now. Maybe later. That's what I say. Nah, I don't want any right now. But when you say that, you got to have something else to put in your mouth. Don't say, no, I'm not going to do it, and then everyone's like, well, come on, come on, come on. You're at a party. Everyone's push, push, push. If you say, no, I'm good, and then you actually have, a brownie to eat, or, you have little, if you have something to put in your mouth, you just can say, I'm good right now. I'm really happy. I'm good. I'm great. And then hopefully they forget about it and the party's over. And, here's the thing. I hate to say this, but if you have to leave a party early, you have to leave a party early. There is no excuse. There's a little thing I heard on the radio and it cracked me up and I just got a kick out of it. But the statement said, your why has to be bigger than your butt, right? But I put a TT on the end of it, like your butt, right? Your why has to be bigger than your butt. But, but it's Halloween, but it's Easter, but it's Christmas, but it's my friend's uncle's cousin's birthday, but somebody died, but somebody's getting married, but. We can make a but in our life every single day. But if you choose to make a change for the good of yourself and the good of your health, then you have to stop with the buts. I have some clients that have come in lately with some bigger health concerns, and the years I've helped them in the past, they didn't really have big health concerns. And now all of a sudden, I've been trying to teach them, hey, one of these days, because they really didn't finish the program, right? If you don't finish the program and learn how to deal with lifestyle management, make lifestyle changes and habitual changes, you're going to end up in trouble. One of them just ended up with quadruple bypass, and one of them, has an A1C that's 13.8. So some things have changed in their lives, and you have to be willing to make some sacrifices in the short term so you can have long-term results. That's really what we're trying to do.
Yeah. I totally resonate with all of those things, Lisa, because, as you know, we work with clients every single day, and you're either in it to win it or you're making excuses. And, there's no judgment there, but that's really the truth of the matter. And, one of the things I do is I jump on every morning when I'm at the gym. So a couple days a week, I jump on and I kind of give my thoughts for the day. And what I realized for myself is I called my broadcast this morning Confessions of a Restart Addict. And I realized, I can restart and restart and restart, but there's always something that's coming up for me. And this has been the whole last 8 or 9 months. Like I just have this 7 or 8 pounds I just want to get rid of. And I'm just not doing it. It's like constant, and that's when we have to, as you say, your why has to be bigger than your butt. But also, we have to show up for ourselves. We have to put ourselves first. And until we're willing to do that, it's not going to change, right, Lisa?
Right, absolutely not. One of the things that this forum is providing, hopefully, and what Renee has done such a great job doing is putting out tips and tricks and, talking with other, clinic owners and talking about different subjects and talking about coaches and stuff. We don't do this for fun. We do this because we love, we do it for fun. I have fun every day. But what I mean is, we are doing this because we have passion and we have a tool that we know can save lives and can change lives for the better. Does everybody win every single week? No, sometimes, people, we're all human, right? We got to give ourselves a little bit of a break. But that doesn't mean you be complacent. So if you mess up, you just put your bootstraps on and you go back at it. It's not the end of the world. Yes, you might lose a day or two of fat burning, and that's kind of a bummer. But if you just let it derail you, if you have the all or none mentality, which is the worst mentality I find as with coaching is, When I have someone who's all or none, that is just not going to work for lifestyle management either. So I say that you have to install a little dimmer switch. You're all in when you're all in. You get the weight off you need to get the weight off this, whatever you're trying to do, health back in order, A1C down, blood pressure down, whatever you're doing. But you got to go all in for that. But when you hit that area, when you hit that zone, what do? Do you have an off switch? You go all the way back to what you did before you put the on switch on? No. You install one of those dimmer switches. So you go, okay, I'm just going to dim it down now. Now I'm going to add back in. I'm going to keep my basis. I'm going to keep my protein and vegetable basis. And now I'm going to add back in my avocado, my nuts, my cheese, my dairy, my sweet potato, my brown rice, my quinoa, my couscous, my whatever. Oh, and 1 or 2 meals a week, I'm going to have some wine, or I'm going to have some, pizza, or I'm going to have an ice cream sundae because that's my favorite thing to do. And I'm not going to have any guilt about it. But that is very different than just going all the way back to, I'm not going to eat breakfast. Even though I ate breakfast for the last 6 months on Hydro Protein, I'm not going to eat breakfast anymore. And I'm not going to really pay attention to how much protein I'm eating. So I'm just going to have toast or cereal because it doesn't really matter anymore. And I've missed it so much, I'm just going to go back to it. And whatever. You have to find a way to enjoy some of those things you weren't eating for a little while, things you put on hold for a little while, yes. But at the end of the day, you also have to find a new normal, and you have to find a new level of balance. And that doesn't mean you go crazy. So it is all of that. It's finding that happy medium. We hear it said many times that, something about eating a balanced diet or eating in balance. And I will just say this to you. When something is in balance, what does it mean? It means the scales are not changing. You're just right here, wherever that is, right? So if you're where you want to be and the scales are in balance, that's not a problem. But if your scale is up here and you're in balance up here, and what you're eating and what you're drinking every day has you in balance, but the balance is here, what do you got to do? You have to unbalance. You have to tip the scales. You have to unbalance that diet temporarily. Take out the things that are keeping you here, whatever those are. And since we're all bio-individual, I can't tell you exactly what they are. I know it has to do with carbohydrates and sugars because insulin in the bloodstream excess causes fat storage. I do know that. But my point is, you have to unbalance what you're doing, drive your body down to this level of balance where you want to live. Then you can have moderation. You can't have moderation up here because you're going to be moderately fat. You're just going to stay where you are moderately. So if you want to change that, you have to unbalance it. Then you can have a moderation protocol of eating. And that's just your lifestyle management at that point. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the whole point of this is not to lose weight.
Right.
The whole point of this is to lose weight and maintain your weight.
Right.
And if you're doing this just to go to a wedding or just to get to your 50th birthday party or whatever that is, that's not a big enough why to keep the weight off in the long run. So as we give you all of these strategies to traverse, summer and football and Halloween, all of these strategies have to transfer into your lifestyle program. So we don't just get to goal and then, it's wheels off the train, woohoo, we still have these strategies. So even the last time I lost my 65 pounds, which if any of you have ever listened to me, I've lost it 3 times in my life. Gone. I haven't lost it. I'm over it. But, I did that the last time about 15 years ago. And I have to keep all of those strategies in place. Otherwise, I'll just head right back up the scale. So every time I come back from summer vacation, I have to do a little reboot. Before I hit the holidays, I need a little reboot. After the holidays, I need a little reboot. But the reboot is 5 pounds. It's not 30 pounds or 60 pounds. And that's where we have to be true to ourselves. So I did want to address, Cindy says, I was on IP for 3 months, lost 40 pounds, and then moved 2 states away. 2 years ago, changed jobs, gained it back, and 10 more. I need and want to drop this weight and more. How do you get focused and get back on IP? So, Lisa, give your strategies to that person.
Well, okay, there's a couple things. One of the questions I have for her is, did she actually finish the protocol? So people say they were on IP for 3 months and lost 40 pounds. Did she actually do phase 3? Did she actually go back for strategy and lifetime maintenance? Is she tapping in to the Ideal Protein videos that talk about lifestyle strategy? Maybe she can go back to her clinic and get some lifestyle training, or focus in on the lifestyle things that we teach. But let's pretend that she finished the protocol and she, lost 40 pounds. And now she said in 2 years, she gained it all back in 10 more. So it took her 2 years to gain that weight back. But clearly what that says to me is that there wasn't a lifestyle, even though stress and a job change and a move is a big deal. She still may not have, I don't want to speak for her, but she may not have developed lifestyle strategies for stress. So that's another thing. When people get stressed out, okay, eating a bowl of ice cream does not really change the stress. And then it ends up adding more stress because now you're mad and you're shameful. And I find that shame leads to, binging, because now you're ashamed of yourself and then you binge and then you can't get off that wagon. So you just continue the pattern, right? So we do have to kind of deal with shame. It shouldn't be a shameful thing to have a bowl of ice cream, but maybe you're stuffing your face with 10 bowls of ice cream and you think it's, somehow going to change the stress levels. So a lot of times I talk about X, Y, and Z. The X's are the things called life, and we can't change life. So sometimes there's hurricanes and there's tornadoes and there's, maybe you get an fender bender, maybe the weather stinks, maybe, your boss is an idiot, maybe, you're mad at your husband, your spouse, your kids, something happened and you're mad at them. Maybe you have some financial stress because of some whatever went wrong, something, you lost a job, whatever. Those things cannot be controlled. It's called life. So the only thing we get to do at that point is, how do we respond to those X's called life? Well, in our life, we've all developed what I call Y's. And, Y. So X is our life. Y is how we respond to X. So in the past, you get sad, you drink a glass of wine. You get angry, you have a bowl of popcorn. You are, super happy, you pop some champagne. You are, all these emotions, and you've related. I call it like coffee and cigarettes. You know how people will say, well, I'm going to stop smoking. But every time they pick up that cup of coffee, they used to smoke a cigarette. So how are they going to give up the cigarettes if they every time still keep the coffee? They may have to give up the coffee and the cigarettes, because if the relationship between X and Y is, when I drink coffee, I smoke a cigarette, but I want to change that habit, what do I have to do? Maybe I have to stop drinking coffee. Maybe I switch that to tea, and I don't really care if I have a cigarette with tea. I just want cigarette and coffee. So you have to develop some Z's. Okay, so you used to, pizza went with soda, right? Coffee and cigarettes go together. You want to make the change. So now you have to find some Z's. So you feel stressed, maybe you color in a coloring book. You feel angry, maybe you go out and, do some boxing or something like that. Sorry about that. Ooh, I don't know how to do that. Hold on. Sorry. Okay. It's on my computer and it picked up my phone. Maybe you're feeling really sad, or you're feeling, upset or whatever. So maybe you go get a pedicure, maybe you go get a manicure, maybe you make a phone call to a friend, maybe you write in a blog, or maybe you write in a journal, maybe you do some jumping jacks, maybe you go for a walk, maybe you get in the pool and swim a few laps. You can find new ways to adjust. Maybe you clean out a junk drawer you've been needing to clean out. Maybe maybe you're good with your hands, so maybe you crochet or you knit, or you keep your hands busy a different way than eating, right? You have to find some Z's to deal with the X's called life. If you always do what you've always done, you're not going to make a change, right? The definition of insanity: if you keep doing what you've always done, nothing's going to change. So you have to make up your mind, how am I going to deal with these X's called life? And so how do you get back on? Well, first you got to really have a why, a definition. Why is it important? for her to lose? Why does she think it's important to lose 50 pounds? What is the reason? Is she sad? Does she not fit in her clothes? Is she sick? Like, what's her why? She has to make sure she knows what her why is. And then she has to go about saying, I don't care. No matter what, I'm going to get the weight off. And then I'm going to learn how to strategize my lifestyle management so I can enjoy some of the things once or twice a week that I find pleasure in, because we do have to have some pleasure. Dr. Tran says, we have to have pleasure, but definitely your head and your heart have to be in the same place. And I might actually recommend too, for those of you people out there that haven't, you probably should get your hands on Dr. Tran's book. Dr. Tran's book is a really easy read. It is about your life. He talks a lot about the mental side. If you don't have his book, you should try to get your hands on it. It really is impactful. It really, when I have clients, they give me the feedback. This book gets the best feedback because he touches on a lot of emotional stuff and a little bit of the science, of course, but it is a wonderful, wonderful resource, Dr. Tran's book, because it's your life. So maybe you guys can, get your hands on that to help you reboot yourself. Okay. And, at the end of the day, if you're really having trouble, you actually may need to seek a professional also. You may need to get to the bottom of what's going on with your, weight is really just sometimes for some people, it really is just an outlet, instead of doing alcohol or drugs or, gambling, food can sometimes become an addiction because of other unresolved issues. And so that really requires professional help. And that may need to happen before any diet's going to work. Dr. Tran says no diet is a vaccination against you gaining your weight back. It's not this diet, not any diet. You have to get to the root of the problem, and you got to get your head and the heart in the same place for sure.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And if your clinic doesn't carry that book, you can always reach out to Lisa, and I'm sure she'll figure out how to get you a copy of that. We carry them in our clinic here too, also. So if you are online, tell us what your challenges are. If you're watching this in the replay, you can go ahead, and Lisa and I will both circle back and answer questions later. But we just, continuously want to give you strategies on how you can traverse life. And this is really just about, and as Lisa said, we might be in that temporary space right now where we're losing some weight, but really we still have to have all these strategies in place for real life. And what I have my clients do is I have them write a list of 10 whys. When somebody is really just having a difficult time, you got to get it on paper, write it down, because it's just like a fantasy going on up in our head. We think we know what we want. I think I know what my goal is. I think I want to get there. But really, until you write that down and then you read it twice a day, like read it. This is why I'm doing this, and this is what my goal is, and this is how I'm going to get there. And the more you read it, the more it's going to assimilate, and you're actually going to get there. And instead of, when you have a moment, instead of beating yourself up and then having 25 moments, just have one moment and move on from the moment. And be kind to yourself, be patient with yourself, and understand that this is a lifelong process. It's not just while you're losing weight. This is a lifelong process. Like if I have a bag of Reese's cups in my house, I'm going to eat all of them. I know that about myself. So guess what? I don't have bags of Reese's cups in my house. What is it for you, Lisa?
Well, for me, it's probably, what would it be for me? It's really interesting. I'm kind of a weirdo. I would say that I am not a big junk food eater, never have been. I don't really have cravings like that. I would say my biggest thing that I have to be aware of is I like to drink wine. I don't drink wine every night. I usually just drink it on the weekends, or I like to have a lot of times when I'm not on protocol, I put some Tito's in my branched chain amino acids. That's something I like to do. But for me, I have wine at the house. When I'm on protocol, I could care less that it's there. But my thing is, I would probably like to enjoy a drink, would be what I would do, probably more than anything.
I'm the
Elizabeth,
same way. I like to, for me, having a glass of red wine is like food.
yep.
And so, I think that place I struggle a lot. I don't eat junk food either, but if I have candy around, I will eat it.
Right.
But the place probably I struggle the most is similar because, I'm very social. And to me, I think we correlate situations with certain kinds of foods or drinks.
Right.
So for me, if I go to an Italian restaurant, I want a couple glasses of red wine with my dinner and maybe a glass of port afterwards. And if I'm going out, to a happy hour, we're going to go watch football. I'm probably going to want to have, a glass of champagne or a Cosmo. So that is truly for me also where I can really, struggle with, should I sit home while I'm losing weight, or do I, go out and live my life? And so I think that is really,
So,
I think it's the same for a lot of people.
so just to play off of that, so when I'm on protocol, I will bring my little branch chain amino acid with me to the bar or the restaurant, and I'll ask for a wine glass and some ice, and I'll pour my branch chain amino acid in there. I might ask for a club soda, and then I will slowly pour some of my branch chain into the club soda, so it's like a sparkly fizzy thing. And I'm fine with that. But when I'm not on protocol, I want to enjoy it, and I've learned to enjoy it without shame and guilt because I don't go out of my way to abuse it because that's my lifestyle management. I don't go home and crack open a bottle of wine every night, but if I go to a nice dinner, I'm going to have a glass or two of wine. But I know that. But when I'm on protocol, I just flip a switch and I'm like, okay, right now I'm not going to do that. But I'm not going to sit home and not go to this happy hour or this football game because I want to live my life while I'm able to. Now, I want to just jump in. Elizabeth said something about, is the book different than the CD and the DVD? Yes, Dr. Tran's book is, I believe, I don't know what exactly you're speaking of. I know
She says, is the book different than the CD or the DVD? I don't know. I haven't watched the CD or the
the CD
DVD.
is just an excerpt. I don't think it's his entire book. I'm pretty sure. And then ask Rose, because Rose is her coach. Rose is an awesome coach in Gainesville, Florida. She just gave a shout out to Rose. Rose can maybe she has a library there with Dr. Tran's book in it that you can check it out and read it. So I believe she may do that. So you can check in with Rose about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, Lisa, it has been so fun. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to hear most of what you said, so I'm lip reading you.
Okay.
I have a pretty good idea of everything that you said.
Good.
For some reason, my audio is weird.
Okay.
But anyway, thank you guys for joining us. If you want to get my Halloween tips, all you have to do is type in tips and you'll get those sent to you in your Facebook Messenger. Lisa is from Shake It Off in Florida, and follow her on Facebook. I'll put a link to her Facebook page down in the comments section. Lisa is, a wealth of information. I love talking to her. I love all the advice, and I just love, Lisa, how straightforward you always are, because I'm a really straightforward coach also, and not everybody appreciates us.
Right, we get in trouble sometimes.
But anyway, thank you guys for joining us. And if you're watching in the replay, ask us your questions. We will be happy to answer them. So have a good one. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. As always, see you soon.
Okay, see ya.